Hello, dear students. I am Dr. R.B. More from Department of Zoology, Yeshwantrao Savan Institute of Science, Satara. We are conducting ICT lectures to study the various components from the zoology syllabus. In the last lecture, that is in the first ICT lecture, we have seen and started the syllabus from the paper number 9 and unit number 3, whose title is the digestive system. That is, we are going to study the brief account of the alimentary canal and the digestive gland. In the first ICT lecture, we have learned the embryonic development of the digestive system and the role of the mesoderm in the further development of the digestive system, that is, alimentary canal as well as the digestive gland. In this ICT lecture, we are passing ahead to learn more about the digestive system in fishes and the amphibia. Now let us consider the digestive system in fish. Here example we are going to consider is the squaliodon. So as you know, the digestive system is composed of alimentary canal and the digestive gland. Alimentary canal, which starts from the mouth and it ends into the anus or the cloaca. So all along its length, it is differentiated into the various region. Here, in case of the squaliodon, alimentary canal starts with the mouth. Mouth, in case of squaliodon, it is wide, crescentic, located ventral, and it is bounded by the folds of the integuments. This mouth further leads into the spacious cavity, which is known as the buccal cavity. So this buccal cavity is dorsoventrally flattened. It is bordered by the jaws, that is the upper jaw and the lower jaw. Teeth are embedded in the skin. Teeth are homodont and the polyphodont, meaning all teeth are similar and they can appear again and again when they are destroyed. These teeth are used to grasp the prey or to hold the prey. Tongue is also present into the buccal cavity. It is non-muscular, non-glandular and is non-protrusible fold of the mucous membrane. Further, buccal cavity leads into the pharynx. Pharynx, in case of squaliodon, it is a large cavity posterior to the buccal cavity and located on the each lateral side of the 5 separate gill slits. Further, pharynx lead into the esophagus. Esophagus, it is the short, wide tube and it is thick-walled muscular structure, internally lined by the mucous membrane and which is thrown into the folds. So this esophagus, it only acts as a conducting tube which conducts the food from buccal cavity further into the stomach. Next part is the stomach. Stomach, in case of squaliodon, it is U-shaped in structure. It means it shows the two regions, that is the proximal region and the distal region. The proximal region, it is also called as the proximal limb. It is wider and distensible. It is called as the cardiac stomach. While the distal limb, it is narrow, short and it is called as the pyloric stomach. In between the in between the esophagus and the cardiac stomach, there is present the esophageal wall. And in the junction between the cardiac and the pyloric stomach, there is a presence of the small outgrowth. That outgrowth is called as the blind sacs, as well as it is also known as the sphincter wall. So at the end of the pyloric stomach, a circular wall, it is guarding opening into the bursa intestina. Stomach further continues into the intestine. Intestine, in case of squaliodon, it is straight, It is a wide tube and it is continuation after the bursa intestina. Anterior part of the intestine receives bile and the pancreatic ducts. Internal lining of the intestine, it is thrown into the longitudinal spiral folds of about 2.5 turns. So such turn, it is called as the scroll wall. So the presence of the scroll wall in the intestine of the scoliodon, it delays the passage of food and it increases the absorptive surface area. The last portion of the alimentary canal is the rectum. This rectum, in case of scoliodon, it is narrow portion which opens into the ventral side into the cloaca, and there is a presence of the finger-like rectal gland which opens dorsally into the rectum. Finally, this cloacal chamber, it opens out by the cloacal aperture. It is also guarded with the help of the wall. The second part of the digestive system, it is the digestive glands. The first digestive gland, it is the liver. Liver, it is the larger gland. In case of scoliodon, it is bilobed structure, yellowish in color, and both the lobes, these are extended freely into the abdominal cavity. So it also shows the presence of V-shaped, thin-walled gallbladder embedded in the right lobe of liver. Bile duct enters into the anterior end of the intestine and it secretes bile, it stores glycogen and fat, as well as it destroys the worn out or the old RBCs or erythrocytes. The another gland associated with the alimentary canal is the pancreas. In scoliodon, pancreas is compact, white or pale colored bilobed structure. These are opening into the anterior end of the intestine. Further, this pancreas, it is running parallel to the cardiac stomach. The smaller ventral lobe of the pancreas, it is close to the pyloric stomach, and the small pancreatic duct which transfers pancreas and it opens into the intestine opposite to the opening of the bile duct. So this is all about regarding the digestive system of scoliodon. So let me pass on to the digestive system in case of amphibia. We are considering here the representative example, that is the frog. So in case of the frog, digestive system, as usual, it consists of the alimentary canal and the associated digestive gland. Alimentary canal, as it starts with the mouth and ends into the cloaca. So all along its length, this tubular structure, it shows the variable diameter and it shows the various region. So alimentary canal, it starts with the mouth. In case of frog, mouth is wide. It is extended from angle of the jaws on either side. So this is due to the absence of the neck. So to overcome the absence of the neck, mouth in case of the frog, it is wide, and this mouth, it is bounded by the jaws with the immovable lips. Mouth leads inside into the buccopharynx or the buccopharyngeal cavity. So name itself indicates that buccal cavity and the pharyngeal cavity in combination, it is known as the buccopharynx or buccopharyngeal cavity. The anterior buccal cavity and the posterior pharynx, it combine, and the roof of this buccopharyngeal cavity, it consists of the various structures like subrostral foci, maxillary teeth, internal nares, inbulgings of the eyeball, and opening of the eustachian tube. So all these structures are present on the roof, while the floor of the buccopharyngeal cavity, it consists of tubercles, then the opening of glottis, gullet, vocal sacs if the animal is male, and on the floor there is a presence of the tongue. Next part in the alimentary canal is the esophagus. Esophagus, it is short, wide, muscular, and it is distensible tube. So the peristalsis of the esophagus, it is useful to push the food into the stomach. Esophagus is also very short in case of the frog due to the absence of neck. Next part is the stomach. Stomach in case of frog, it is broad, it is curved, thick-walled, lies on the left side, and it shows two regions, anterior cardiac and the posterior pyloric stomach. Pyloric end, it shows pyloric wall or sphincter, and it secretes gastric juice containing the enzymes pepsinogen and hydrochloric acid, that is HCl. Stomach further continues into the small intestine. Small intestine, it is long, coiled tube, about 30 centimeter in length. It is divided into two parts. The proximal portion is called as the duodenum and the distal portion is called as the ileum. Duodenum, anteriorly it runs parallel to the stomach and it is forming U-shaped loop. This receives hepatopancreatic duct, which brings bile from the liver and pancreatic juice from the pancreas. Next portion is the ileum. Ileum, it is the posterior portion of alimentary canal. It is highly coiled. Internally, it is having longitudinal folds, which increases the absorptive and the digestive surface area. And the last portion of the alimentary canal, it is called as the large intestine or rectum. Large intestine or rectum, it is short, wide, 4 centimeter, and it opens into the cloaca. This opening is guarded by the anal sphincter, and rectum or large intestine, it is useful for the absorption of water and it also useful for the temporary storage of the fecal matter. Large intestine or rectum, it opens out by the cloaca. So the cloaca, it is the common opening. This cloaca, it is a short chamber behind the rectum which receives urine from the urinary duct, fecal matter from the rectum, and the genital products from the genital ducts. So all these opens out by the cloacal aperture, which is guarded by the sphincter. Another second half or the second portion of the digestive system of the frog is the glands, that is the digestive glands. Two digestive glands as usual. The first one is the liver and the second one is the pancreas. So liver, it is the largest digestive gland. In case of frog, it is reddish brown gland and located on the right side of the body cavity with right and the left lobes. But further, left lobe is subdivided into the anterior and the posterior lobes. Thus, in case of frog, liver, it shows the three lobes, right lobe, left lobe and the median lobe. This liver, it is useful for the secretion of bile. Then, liver is also associated with the gallbladder. This gallbladder, it is thin-walled greenish sac and it is present between the lobes, which temporarily stores the bile, which is secreted by the liver. The bile, it travels through the hepatic ducts and further stored into the gallbladder. Cystic duct and the hepatic ducts, it form the common bile duct, which runs through the pancreas, and while going through the pancreas, it receives the pancreatic ducts to form the common hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum. And the next gland, it is the pancreas. In frog, pancreas, it is another digestive gland which is present in between the loop of the stomach and the duodenum. It is cream or yellow colored and it is both exocrine as well as endocrine gland. The exocrine portion of the pancreas, it secretes pancreatic juice. That pancreatic juice, it consists of several enzymes which are useful for the digestion of the carbohydrate, proteins and the fats. While the endocrine portion of the pancreas, it is known as the endocrine pancreas, that is the islets of Langerhans. This islets of Langerhans, it secretes insulin and glucagon and it maintains the blood glucose level of the animal. So, in this lecture, we have learned about the digestive system of Scoliodon and the digestive system of frog. That is, one from fish and another from the amphibian. Thank you.